You think you are free. But let me ask you a dangerous question. If a stranger on the street can ruin your day with one sentence, are you truly free, or are you a slave? Most men go through life thinking that strength is about fighting back. They believe that if someone disrespects them, they must attack. They must defend their honor. They must shout louder to prove they exist. They think silence is weakness and reaction is power. They are wrong. The moment you react to an insult, you have lost. The moment you lose your temper, you have handed the remote control of your emotions to your enemy. You are telling them, "You have power over me. Your words matter to me. You control my biology." Is that strength? No, that is weakness disguised as aggression. That is slavery. Real power is not suppressing your anger. Real power is not having the anger in the first place. It is looking at the person trying to hurt you and feeling absolutely nothing. No pulse spike, no heat in your face, just cold, absolute, terrifying indifference. The Stoics understood this thousands of years ago. Marcus Aurelius, Seneca, Epictetus, they didn't just tolerate disrespect, they analyzed it, they dissected it, and they stripped it of its power. In this deep dive, we are going to perform surgery on your ego. We are going to destroy the part of you that craves validation and replace it with something unbreakable. We are going to combine ancient philosophy with modern neuroscience to understand exactly why you get angry and how to stop it forever. I am going to teach you how to become unoffendable, not by ignoring reality, but by mastering it. By the end of this video, you will have the tools to stand in the face of disrespect and remain untouched. You will understand the dark psychology behind insults, and you will learn how to use silence as a weapon. Let's begin by looking at the machine. Before we can fix your reaction, we need to understand the biology of your rage. You cannot control a machine if you don't know how it works. What happens inside your brain when someone disrespects you? Neuroscience calls it the Amygdala Hijack. Deep inside your brain, you have two key players fighting for control. First, you have the prefrontal cortex. This is the CEO of your brain. It handles logic, reason, philosophy, and future planning. This is the Stoic part of you. Second, you have the amygdala. This is the ancient alarm system. It handles fear, aggression, and survival. It is the animal part of you. When someone insults you, your amygdala perceives a threat. It doesn't know the difference between a rude comment on the internet and a tiger in the jungle. It detects a threat to your status, so it hits the panic button. It floods your system with cortisol and adrenaline. Your heart rate shoots up, your muscles tense, your vision narrows. But here is the scary part. The amygdala essentially cuts the power line to your prefrontal cortex. It shuts down your logic. Your IQ literally drops. You become temporarily stupid. This is why you say things you regret later. This is why you shake. You are running on software that was designed for the Stone Age, trying to operate in the modern world. The goal of Stoicism is not to stop the amygdala from firing. That is biologically impossible. The goal is to reconnect the power line to the prefrontal cortex as fast as possible. We are trying to shorten the refractory period, the time it takes for you to regain your intelligence after a threat. So keep this in mind. When you feel that heat rising, it is just a chemical spill in your brain. It is not reality, it is biology. And biology can be controlled. Now that we understand the biology, let's look at the psychology of the attacker. To become immune to disrespect, you must understand what disrespect actually is. When someone insults you, cuts you off, or tries to humiliate you, your first instinct is to take it personally. You think, they are attacking me. They think I am weak. I need to prove them wrong. This is a hallucination. Here is the truth. Disrespect is almost never about you. It is about them. Think about it logically. Have you ever met a truly happy, successful and powerful person who goes around trying to destroy other people? Have you ever met a man who is secure in himself, who feels the need to belittle a waiter or scream at a stranger in traffic? No, because strong people do not need to push others down to feel tall. Only the weak do that. Only the insecure do that. Every insult is a confession. When someone attacks you, they are unconsciously confessing their own pain, their own jealousy, or their own lack of control. They are projecting their internal chaos onto you. The Stoics viewed bad behavior the same way a doctor views a disease. Marcus Aurelius said that when you meet a shameless man, you should ask yourself, is it possible for the world to exist without shameless men? No, it is not. So, you have simply met one of them. You must stop seeing the insulter as a monster or an enemy. That gives them too much credit. That makes them the villain in your movie. Instead, see them as a malfunctioning machine. If your car engine starts making a loud, grinding noise, do you take it personally? Do you scream at the engine? Do you feel disrespected by the car? Of course not. You understand that something inside the machine is broken. It is just noise. People are the same. When someone disrespects you, it is just the grinding noise of their own broken ego. Why would you get angry at a machine for doing what it is programmed to do? Why would you let a sick person infect you with their sickness? Once you see their disrespect for what it really is, a symptom of their own weakness, you don't feel anger, you feel pity, and you cannot be threatened by someone you pity. But let's go deeper. Let's look at this through the lens of Carl Jung and shadow work. If the person is just a broken machine, why does it still hurt you? Why does your blood still boil? If someone walked up to you right now and called you a green elephant, you wouldn't get angry. You would laugh. You would think they are crazy. Why? Because you know, with 100% certainty, that you are not a green elephant. The words create no friction, because they have no basis in reality. But if someone calls you weak, or stupid, or a failure, and you explode with rage, that is a signal. Jung would say that the insult only burns because it touches a wound that is already there. You get angry because a part of you fears that they might be right. If you were 100% secure in your intelligence, being called stupid would be funny to you. The fact that it hurts means you have an insecurity there. So the insulter is actually doing you a favor. They are shining a light on your shadow. They are showing you exactly where your armor is weak. Instead of attacking them, you should almost thank them. They just revealed to you exactly what you need to work on. Epictetus, the slave who became a philosopher, gave us the most dangerous truth in Stoicism regarding this. He said, "Men are not disturbed by things, but by the view which they take of them." Read that again. It is never the insult that hurts you. It is your interpretation of the insult. Let's look at the physics of it. Someone stands in front of you and says, "You are a failure." What actually happened? Air was pushed through their vocal cords. Sound waves traveled through the air. Those waves hit your eardrum. That is it. That is the only reality. Physics. Sound. Sound waves cannot hurt you. They cannot cut your skin. They cannot steal your money. They cannot break your bones. So, where does the pain come from? The pain comes from the story you tell yourself after you hear the sound. You hear the words, and then you add a layer of judgment. You say to yourself, "He shouldn't have said that. That is unfair. I must defend myself. It is this internal dialogue that causes the anger. The insult is the spark, but your reaction is the gasoline, and you are the one pouring it. To truly understand this level of control, we must look at a concrete example from history. We need to look at Cato the Younger. Cato was the man who inspired Marcus Aurelius. He was the Iron Man of Rome. He was the embodiment of Stoic virtue. One day, Cato was at the public baths. It was crowded and chaotic. Without warning, a man rushed up to him and struck him in the face. A massive, humiliating blow in front of everyone. The crowd went silent. They waited for Cato to explode. They waited for him to have the man arrested, beaten, or killed. Cato was a powerful senator. He could have destroyed this man with a word. But Cato did not fight back. He did not scream. He simply stood there, wiped the blood from his face, and looked at the man calmly. Later, the attacker realized who he had hit. He was terrified for his life. He came to Cato to beg for forgiveness, weeping and shaking. Cato's response is legendary. He didn't say, "I forgive you." He didn't say, "I accept your apology." He looked at the man and said, "I do not remember being hit." Think about the power of that sentence. I do not remember being hit. He didn't just forgive the insult. He refused to acknowledge its existence. He considered the man's action so beneath him, so irrelevant to his character, that he didn't even store it in his memory. It was like a fly buzzing past his ear. This is the level we are aiming for. Not just suppressing anger, but reaching a state of elevation where the insult literally does not register as an event worth remembering. Another example is Socrates. One day, Socrates was walking in Athens, and a rude man kicked him. Socrates kept walking as if nothing happened. His students were furious. They asked him, "Why don't you do something? He kicked you." Socrates smiled and said, "If a donkey kicked me, would I take him to court?" Socrates saw the rude man as an animal, acting according to his nature. You don't get angry at a donkey for being a donkey. Let's go deeper into the philosophy. We know that the insulter is broken. We know that the pain is self-inflicted. But there is a root cause for all of this suffering. One word: arrogance. You get angry because you believe you are the center of the universe. You believe that your reputation, your feelings, and your day are critically important matters. You think, "How dare he talk to me like that?" The Stoics have a cure for this self-obsession. It is called the view from above. I want you to try a mental experiment right now. Close your eyes if you can. Zoom out. Look at your life from the perspective of history. Think about all the people who lived 100 years ago. The politicians, the warriors, the celebrities, the rich merchants. They had enemies. They were insulted. They felt disrespect. They got angry. They shouted back. Where are they now? They are dust. They are bones in the ground. Their names are forgotten. The people who insulted them are forgotten. The insults themselves have vanished into the void. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Alexander the Great and his mule driver both died, and the same thing happened to both." Death is the great equalizer. When you zoom out far enough, your problem becomes laughable. You're standing on a tiny rock, spinning in an infinite black void for a blink of an eye in the timeline of the universe. And you are going to waste your precious limited heartbeats being angry because someone made a noise you didn't like? It is absurd. It is a waste of life. When someone disrespects you, do not look at them face to face. Look at them from above. See them as a tiny, fleeting speck of dust. See yourself as a tiny, fleeting speck of dust. In 50 years, you will both be gone. The argument won't matter. The disrespect won't matter. So why does it matter now? This perspective does not make you weak. It makes you free. When you realize that nothing is that important, you become invincible. You can laugh at the insults because you see the joke. You see the game for what it is, a petty squabble between two ghosts in training. Now, let's get tactical. Philosophy is useless if you cannot apply it when the bullets are flying. When you're standing face to face with disrespect, you don't have time to read a book. You need weapons. Here are 3 tactical tools to use in the heat of the moment. Tool number 1, the tactical pause. Biologically, it takes about 2 to 3 seconds for your emotional brain to hijack your logical brain. When someone insults you, your body wants to react instantly. Do not let it. Force a pause. Count to 3 in your head. 1, 2, 3. In those 3 seconds, you are overriding your programming. You are stepping out of the animal brain and into the rational brain. This pause also terrifies your opponent. They expect a reaction. They expect noise. When you give them silence, they start to panic. They wonder if you are calculating something dangerous. Use the silence to intimidate them. Tool number 2, the stone face. Most people try to look tough when they are angry. They frown, they clench their jaws, they narrow their eyes. This is weak. It shows you are affected. It shows you are in pain. The Stoic response is the stone face. Relax your face muscles. Unclench your jaw. Go completely blank. Look at them directly in the eyes, but do not look at them. Look through them. Imagine you are looking at a wall behind their head. This signals to their subconscious that they are not even worth a facial expression. You are not angry. You are indifferent. And indifference is far more insulting than anger. Anger implies that they matter. Indifference implies that they do not exist. Tool number 3, radical agreement. If the silence doesn't stop them, use their own momentum against them. This is verbal jujitsu. If someone says something to hurt you, simply agree with it. If someone says, "You are incompetent," you reply calmly, "You might be right. I have a lot to learn." If someone says, "You are ugly," you reply, "You should see me in the morning. It's much worse." Watch what happens. You just stole their weapon. They wanted a fight. They wanted resistance. By agreeing, you refused to fight. You left them punching the empty air. There is nothing more frustrating for an attacker than a victim who refuses to be a victim. These tools, the pause, the stone face, the agreement, are not passive. They are aggressive acts of control. You are controlling the frame of reality. We have covered the neuroscience of rage, the psychology of the broken machine, the shadow work of insecurity, the history of Cato, and the weapons of silence. But remember this final truth. The world is full of noise. It is full of broken people, screaming for attention, begging for validation, and trying to pull you down into the mud with them. They want your reaction. They are starving for it. Do not feed them. The ultimate power move is not to win the argument. The ultimate power move is to make the argument irrelevant. When you can stand in the middle of a storm and not shake, you become something more than just a man. You become a force of nature. You become dangerous in the best possible way. Seneca said, "To be able to hold your peace when provoked is a sign of perfect composure." Next time you feel the heat rising in your chest, remember who you are. You are not a slave to your impulses. You are not a puppet for others to control. You are the master of your mind. Let them bark. Let them scream. Let them project their pain. You stay silent. You stay focused. You stay dangerous. If you are ready to destroy your weak self and build a mind that cannot be broken, You know what to do. Join the saga. Subscribe, and until next time, stay stoic.